Good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In this weather forecast, we'll be tracking several big storms crashing into the west coast of the United States, bringing very heavy snow, very heavy flooding rain, and high winds through the middle of January, as well as tracking when winter will return with the cold and snow across the lower 48 and Canada as we head through this video. If you guys are new to the channel and have yet to subscribe, hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. I cover Canada, the United States, and the tropics and everything in between. So hit the subscribe button down below, everyone, and the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. Looking back to Monday, January 2nd, we had a severe weather outbreak move across the deep south and the southeast, bringing several different hazards here, from tornadoes to damaging winds to even some large hail out there, as well as heavy rainfall. Looking back, however, to Monday, January 2nd, we had 8 reported tornadoes across the Arklatex, getting across portions of the Tennessee Valley, even back here into Oklahoma. Several wind and hail reports as well, with 43 total severe thunderstorm reports as we head through that Monday time frame. Now, going back to Tuesday, just a couple of days ago, on Tuesday, January 3rd, several tornado reports actually, with 12 of those being reported on Tuesday, 91 total wind reports, 22 hail reports, for a total of 125 severe weather reports across portions of the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, and much of the Gulf Coast states. And then going back to yesterday, on Wednesday, January 4th, we had several more tornadoes, with 3 of those being reported. We had 87 wind reports, 1 hail report, for a total of 91 severe weather reports on Wednesday. So a very busy last several days of severe weather across the southern and southeastern United States, and also busy on the rainfall front as well. The past 72 hours across the deep south and getting into the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley here, we've been seeing lots of very heavy rainfall, anywhere from 2 to 5+ inches have fallen across parts of southern Ohio, back here across Kentucky, much of middle and western Tennessee, and then back toward the Arklatex, and then again, much of the Gulf Coast states here seeing lots of significant rain and possible flooding from the last couple of days, and that will be moving its way out here, and we'll be focusing on the big storm out west. But if you guys are still with me on this video, press the like button. It's that thumbs up button down below. This helps get all that weather information out to more and more people, so I definitely appreciate that. And yes, we are going to be talking about several big storms crashing into the west coast of the United States going through this week and really through the middle of January. The first of which is moving through right now with very heavy rain across north central California, getting up through Oregon and Washington state, even some mountain snow being found across the Sierra Nevadas in California, through the state of Nevada, getting into Utah here and into portions of Idaho, getting into the Colorado Rockies. Lots of these areas and ski resorts will be loving that snowfall out there this week. That will be on your Thursday today, and you can see that trough back up across portions of the northeastern Pacific Ocean and the Pacific Northwest. That's going to be bringing all that unsettled heavy snow and rainfall type of weather across the western United States going through this upcoming weekend and beyond. We even have some high wind warnings remaining in place across southwestern Oregon and in much of California here. Even some flash flood watches being hoisted across portions of the state as well of California. That's for the heavy rainfall and flooding rain at that. We could be dealing with some mudslides and some landslides across California going through the next couple of days with all that rainfall. But on the wind side of things, we could be talking about dangerous winds getting up to around 50, 60, even 70 mile per hour wind gusts going across north central California. Even some of those stronger winds pushing into western Nevada through the next 24 to 36 hours here, and that could be kind of leading to some trees toppling over, some of those landslides, mudslides here with the loose ground, with all that rainfall, and then you have the strong winds definitely going to be leading to some loose soil out there through the next couple of days. And what this wind will also do is pull in some very strong waves across the west coast of the United States. We have those 25, even 30-foot waves crashing into California, Oregon, and even parts of Washington state as well. That's going to be leading to some significant beach erosion through the day today. That will continue into the day on Friday. Tomorrow, on Friday, January 6th, with still those 15 to 20-foot waves getting across the western coast of the United States. But looking at the precipitation out there this afternoon, we got the very heavy rainfall, places like San Francisco, Sacramento, and then even down toward Los Angeles as well. We'll be talking about those moderate to heavy rainfall bands moving in off of the west coast inland. And we'll also be talking about some very heavy mountain snow. The Sierra Nevadas are going to get absolutely crushed by snowfall over the next couple of days. Several feet of snow will be on the way. You can see that going through much of today. Getting a little bit of break in the action here tomorrow on Friday as another storm system will finally move into the west coast on Saturday, January 7th. Again, heavy rainfall across north central California, getting up through Oregon, Washington State. But where it is cold enough to snow in those higher elevations of Washington State, Idaho, portions of Oregon, and again, the Sierra Nevadas into California, we're going to be talking about some very heavy snowfall rates, probably over 1 and 2 inches per hour. And then that will continue as we head into Sunday as well, right straight through the weekend and getting into early next week. Looking at the flooding threat with this here today, the Weather Prediction Center has hoisted a marginal to slight risk for excessive rainfall and flash flooding across California. Places like Los Angeles, Sacramento, San Diego, and then getting back up there towards San Francisco as well are some of the places that we could be seeing some flash flooding later on today. And it doesn't stop there. We have a parade of big storms across the Pacific Ocean here. We got another storm behind that going into the early next week's time frame on Monday, January 9th. We got another low pressure system behind that one back toward the Aleutian Islands. And then again, another couple of lows waiting back in the wings across the north central Pacific Ocean, waiting to crash into the western coast of the United States going through the middle of January. Going through the middle of next week, however, over the next 7 days through late next Wednesday on January 11th, we could be seeing well over a foot of rain across northern and even perhaps central California here. We could be talking about some significant flooding here. Some of these areas could be seeing locally up to 15 inches of rain going over the next 7 days, and also some very heavy snow. I did mention that the Sierra Nevadas were going to get absolutely crushed by snowfall going through the middle and end of next week through Thursday, January 12th. We could be seeing 70, 80, 90 inches of snow across the Sierra Nevada, so several feet are on the way. And again, those ski resorts are going to be loving the snowfall out here into places like Salt Lake City, getting into the higher elevations of Nevada and the western Colorado Rockies here. We're going to be seeing several feet of snow in those areas here as we get through the middle of January. And looking at the travel impacts with this, with the heavy snow and again, the heavy rainfall and freezing rain and stuff like that out west, we could be talking about those major to extreme travel impacts. It will be treacherous travel across, especially the Sierra Nevadas, and then wherever it's snowing across the western United States into the Intermountain West. So definitely take it slow out there. Leave plenty of distance between you and the car in front of you as possible, and just take it slow. Lots of snow on the ground and some freezing rain and stuff here like that out across the west. But for the rest of us across the United States, the lower 48 here, we're going to be talking about near seasonable to above average temperatures going through the day today and the rest of this week. These are high temperatures as we get into this afternoon with that fresh snowpack still sitting across the Dakotas and Minnesota. We'll see highs into the teens across those areas later today, but farther to the south, snow free, we're going to be seeing lots of 40s, 50s, and even 60s for highs today across places like Kentucky, Tennessee, the Gulf Coast states here, from the Carolinas, getting through Mississippi, Alabama, and then getting back across portions of Texas as well. That will continue through the day on Friday. The colder air up to the north, the warmer 50s, 60s, and mid-70s returning to portions of Texas as we get into the day on Friday tomorrow. And then going into the weekend here on Saturday, January 7th, we still got those teens and 20s for highs up across the upper Midwest with that snowpack. But again, snow-free farther south, we'll be seeing 40s, 50s, 60s, and yes, even some 70s into places like coastal Texas, coastal Louisiana here from New Orleans, back through Houston, even Brownsville, Texas, and Corpus Christi. Those are some of the areas that could be experiencing those 70s going into the early this weekend. And for much of the lower 48, going through January 14th, we look to see above average temperatures going through that time frame. Also very active, especially across the East Coast and especially even across California and the West Coast, where we're going to get absolutely crushed by all this heavy rainfall and snowfall across these areas over the next couple of days and couple of weeks. And going all the way through the third week in January, on January 18th, that warm air looks to have lots of staying power across the lower 48, with those likely above average temperatures through that period from the Great Lakes all the way southward here through Texas and all around here. So definitely lots of warmer air, and very active as well, especially across the West Coast, going right straight through January 18th with all that heavy rainfall and heavy snow out there. But a couple of these systems may be traversing across the middle and eastern two-thirds of the country going into the third week in January, bringing a mix of rain and snow across the northern and central United States, and that will travel farther east toward the Carolinas during that time frame. Again, all this active weather across the West is great news. The U.S. monthly drought outlook does favor that drought starting to improve in a big way across California, Oregon, Nevada, getting in through portions of Utah here and Idaho as well. And so that is definitely some very good news out west. But looking at that snowpack for the rest of us here, lots of that snow is on the ground currently in Alaska, getting up here into Canada, and then even parts of the upper Midwest and the Pacific Northwest. But farther south and east, much of the Northeast, much of the Ohio Valley, and really the southeastern United States, not seeing any snow on the ground currently, but there are signs longer range as we get into the last week in January and turn towards the first day or so of February next month. There are signs in the long range weather guidance that we are seeing some colder temperature anomalies starting to move southward across southern, southwestern Canada and the western two-thirds of the country. And this is just getting started here. As we get towards the middle of the week there on January 25th, we could have some of these colder anomalies start to organize farther south into central and even perhaps southern Canada with the purples here, maybe some blues showing up across the northwestern two-thirds of the United States. That's that starting point for those very cold temperatures getting into the last week in January. And by the time we get to the last day or so of January on the 30th and 31st of the month, and then turning to early February, we could be seeing a serious Arctic intrusion of cold air farther south into Canada, and perhaps sneaking its way southward enough to get into the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and even the Northeast as well, with that freezing line perhaps dropping farther south towards the Gulf Coast, Texas, and parts of the Carolinas during that time frame. Also, a very active subtropical jet will be setting up across the lower 48 as well, farther south as across Texas, the Ohio Valley here, and the Tennessee Valley, which will assure us more snowfall here with conjunction of that cold air. We're going to see more active jet stream patterns here with more troughs digging in, and again, more moisture available for some snowfall farther south. And that will continue as we head towards the last day or so of January with that very active subtropical jet traversing west to east across the United States, bringing more active storm systems towards that time frame. So looking at the CFS model, this is the Climate Forecasting Systems model here, going all the way through February 1st. And you can see towards that last week in January, we could be setting up some heavier snow across the Dakotas, across Wisconsin, places here into the upper Midwest, back through the Central Plains, and again, perhaps through the Ohio Valley and the Northeast, places that haven't really seen too much snow this season as we get farther south here into those areas. And then looking at the closer view of that, you can definitely see we'll be filling in more snow farther south across portions of the Central Plains, the upper Midwest, even parts of the Ohio Valley, and again, the Northeast during that time frame here. So definitely, I know all the snow lovers out there are still wanting the snow. So hang in there, guys. I feel for you guys. We are going to be seeing more snow and cold, I think, as we get towards that last week in January and getting into the first couple of days at least of February next month. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. Remember to like the video down below, give it a thumbs up, leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. Have a great Thursday, everyone, a great rest of your week, and I will see you all in the next video.